Hello and welcome to the 15th episode of the Immortal Sanctum Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, James, joined by my co-host, JT.
Hello, everyone.
and we've also got Craig with us again.
This is not the podcast guest you're looking for.
You and your Star Wars references.
Yet you are correct.
All right, guys. This is our E3 discussion podcast. This is actually part 2. We are going to be covering the EA and Ubisoft conferences. So let's just jump right into it. We got the EA conference up first. Would you guys like to start, and let's just kind of go over an overview of like EA conference and what we thought?
Oh yeah. First off, Battlefront.
I see you're excited.
That is all I needed to hear. Like that could have just been that of the conference, and I would have been like, "Yep, EA got it. They won the conference. Best of them all. The rest of them can go through. Over. E3's over. Let's be done."
I'm gonna have to agree and copy JT here. That's really all that matters is Battlefront 3. And I mean, granted, I was excited for some of the other games they showed, like Dragon Age Inquisition and Mirror's Edge, and kind of humored by Battlefield Hardline. But as a whole, that was the big mic drop. Is all they needed was, hey, by the way, Battlefront 3. And then just walk off stage, and I would have been like, that's all EA needed to bring this year.
All right, well, let's jump into some trailers, shall we?
Yes.
Alrighty, let's go. Alright.
So excited.
Alright, first up, we have the Battlefront trailer. Well, trailer, teaser, something.
This like
so awesome!
right here.
It is
When
just a
this
studio.
started, I was done. I was like, dude, everyone else in the room, I was like, look at this.
Yeah.
This is what's going on right now.
Yeah, I was listening to the E3 stream at work, and I wasn't really fully focused as soon as the EA conference started, but then I heard that music and immediately just whipped to my phone like... if anyone had been walking by my cubicle, they'd have been like, what is the matter with you? Because I had headphones on and everything.
Yeah. No, it's definitely nice to see this coming back, because I know I played tons of Battlefront 2 back in the day on the PS2, and I'm really excited to get back into this this game, and I'm really excited to see what DICE will do with it as well.
Yeah.
What I love is that D2 just came up right there. Nostalgia just was like, oh, emotional. Just whew. All right, go on, Craig. I need a minute.
I was gonna say what I loved is the amount of detail that they're taking to really capture some of these worlds and to do so much more than to make this just Star Wars and Battlefield.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a time there when Star Wars games were a dime a dozen, and it's nice to see that, they're actually taking advantage of next-gen hardware and actually putting, trying to bring Star Wars to life in a way that we haven't seen yet, from a video game standpoint.
Yeah, something I am wondering about is if they're going to do like a campaign mode, like a single-player campaign mode, because we see that now with like all the shooters that we have, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do that with this one, because before it was just like the multiplayer experience, and that was amazing. And I'm not saying that if we don't have single player, it's going to be bad or anything, but kind of with the way the market is now, I'm kind of wondering if they're going to add it or not.
Yeah,
that's a good question, especially since well, DICE doesn't have the best track record for serious single-player storylines with the Battlefield games, with the exception of, before I get absolutely destroyed for this, with the exception of Bad Company. Those are both excellent single players, but I digress. And Mirror's Edge, obviously, but the previous Battlefront games didn't do too much with story, so I don't know if they will or not here either. But it would be so much fun to have it so that, maybe bring back some features from Battlefront 2, like being able to play as a hero character, and, maybe go through the Battle of Endor and get to play as Han on the ground, or Chewie, or an Ewok. And I know JT's probably rolling his eyes right now, and that just said Ewok.
I shoot him. Just
You are a horrible person.
Rebel soldiers, not even worried about you. You can shoot at me all you want. Those little Ewoks, they're gonna die.
See, you say that now, but I'm gonna swing from a tree with a log and I'm gonna crush your AT-AT and it's gonna be all over.
That's exactly. We prepared for everything, but except for big trees. Our one weakness. And a small hole in a Death Star.
Our one weakness, besides the fact that all of our stormtroopers can't shoot anybody.
Yeah. Those visors aren't good for it. That's what blacked out.
All that training, they still bonk their heads on the doorways when they walk through.
But see, that's like my favorite part of the Battlefront games are not playing the hero. It's when you're on your opposite side and you have to work your butt off to try to kill either the villain or the hero. Because you're like,
I do agree.
This is a test. Like I'm a little trooper guy, and that is Luke Skywalker. Let's see if I can take him out. He's blocking, and you got to roll. That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Fighting against the heroes as a not hero it definitely is one of the most exciting things, and it just gives you this sense of satisfaction. When you kill him, it's like, I'm a battle droid and I just killed Mace Windu.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no.
We won't go on this subject too far.
No.
Favorite part of that game.
Craig,
Mace
please
Windu.
no.
Favorite
what have I done?
Favorite
No.
part. Because
Next video now. Next
worst
video
character
now.
ever. He's dead. Woohoo! I saved the entire galaxy.
Next trailer.
Next trailer now. Before JT pulls a tech out of our SWTOR guild and just rails everything.
I'm just saying, twirly spinny move shouldn't have killed anybody. But somehow Mace Windu was able to survive with the other 3 Jedi Masters. Anyway,
all right.
Back to Battlefront. One more last thing. Solo campaign. Do y'all think it needs it or not?
Well, here's something interesting. What they could do, and this is kind of something I was thinking about, is you could take and if you want to do a story with that, you don't necessarily have to pick a main character from the Star Wars universe. You could make up a new character and follow that person's adventures through these different battles and throughout. I mean, I don't know how that would work. That would be kind of an interesting approach, and you could kind of take a different view to maybe some of these big epic battles. Like this other person where they were at on the Battle of Endor.
See, something I could see is where they've done something like I don't know if any of you are a fan of Clone Wars, but it shows some of the troopers that aren't clones, like they're different. Like I could kind of see something where you start off the mission, like you start off this campaign and you're fighting alone the clone troopers, but when that kind of switch happens, where they start killing all the Jedi and everything, and then you kind of join the rebel side.
Yeah,
I could see that possibly being a single campaign going all the way through, because that would cover both genres that were like you could play the different genres in Battlefront 2. I could see that happening.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where they take this new Battlefront, especially with DICE's experience with the shooter genre. I'm so excited to see where they take this new game. All right, well, enough about Battlefront. Let's move on to the next trailer, shall we?
Sure.
I don't think there ever is enough about Battlefront, but okay.
No, I agree. But we're all ready to talk about this next one, though.
Are we? Are we all ready to talk about this next trailer?
I think so.
I think at least one of us is.
Okay, this is the thing. I don't play a lot of Madden, but there's always, I think everyone has that in your group, that one guy's like, I can beat you. I know I do. Unfortunately, that is my sister in this case.
So he's
like, come on, I can beat you at Madden. Let's go. Let's do it right now. Just in the random, we could be out in town doing at something, and she's like, oh yeah, I can beat you at Madden. So we play Madden so we see who's the best. But for people that are fans of it, I like what they've done here. Is they've really expanded on the defense, where it's not just they're just there. You're kind of switching the camera around so you can be more interactive, and I think that's going to be really good.
Yeah. No, it's definitely interesting to see. And I love always seeing where they push the graphics with these things, because it was always interesting to kind of see these sports games throughout the years. I mean, they always added more and more realism into them, and I know at some points they've gotten so real that this kind of taken the fun out of them. So it'd be interesting to see like where they go this year. Because sometimes it just gets too much of a simulation to the fact that it's too cold. Like it takes the fun out of it. So it'd definitely be interesting to see how this new one plays.
See, that's something else I'm wondering about for like those casual players.
Mm-hmm.
Is it getting too advanced?
Yeah.
Like for the older games, I didn't have to worry that much about where I could just who I wanted to pass it to. I didn't worry about what angle I threw it at and everything like this. And the more advanced these games get, the kind of more detailed. While I see that is good for people that are like really into it, I'm kind of wondering about people that are just kind of like the casual, like I am, just like the casual players, and don't want to take the time to go, okay, I need to learn how to actually pass like a real quarterback in order to make sure my pass is hit.
Yeah.
Clearly, you don't football hard enough to play Madden 15, man.
Yeah, apparently. Clearly. I need to go get a personal trainer to teach me how to play football so I can play Madden 15.
All right. Well, you guys ready to move on to the next one?
I am.
All righty. Let's
So
take
excited.
a look at UFC.
I have a feeling someone's going to have some really strong opinions about this video.
I don't know. We should have like cut my camera out, and then I came back in my martial arts uniform. Like, what? Nothing's changed. No.
No, this is what I normally do podcasts in.
What? I actually thought about wearing it for this podcast for this sole reason. See, this is something I'm so happy to see Bruce Lee in this, because I am a huge martial arts person myself. I do martial arts. I'm still big in the community and stuff. But like, I was super excited to see Bruce Lee in this, because I was like, oh, I can play as Bruce Lee? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, like, that's a lot of people that, like, a lot of martial arts, these people right here are talking about what a legend Bruce Lee is, and these are professional UFC fighters and stuff like that. But with that, like, this is my thing with it. As long as he wins every fight, I'm okay with it.
They should just have a game setting where if you pick him as your opponent, it automatically switches the difficulty to impossible mode.
Because, like, I can't, like, if I was, like, say I had my character and I was playing against someone that played Bruce Lee, I'd feel horrible about punching Bruce Lee in the face.
I don't think a lot of people are going to have that problem.
The question is if you could even succeed at punching Bruce Lee in the face.
That's the thing. But see, like, in real life, no. I would, before I would think about it, and I would already be dead from him hitting me.
Just the mental whiplash of it would just kill you on impact.
So what do y'all think? Like, do y'all think it's okay to put someone like this in the game where y'all can just beat up if y'all want to?
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as they take care into, not destroying, because, I mean, Bruce Lee is a legend, and, you don't want to destroy the impact he's made on his fans and the people who've really followed his career, and, as long as they take care with that and make sure they capture his style and things like that and bring it into the game and allow you to have kind of like that Bruce Lee experience. And even I don't think it's a problem, but they have to take care with that, I think.
See, first off, I am so happy that you knew he had his own style. That makes me so happy as a martial artist that you knew that.
You're welcome.
But I don't know. I think maybe because we're coming at it from different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, Bruce Lee means a lot more to me than he means to y'all. So, like, me, I love that he's in the game, but I hate it at the same time because I don't like that bruise on Bruce Lee's leg. Why would you do that to him? But he just did that off the cage kick, which was amazing. I love seeing it. So, like, this is having me I have.
Oh my god! Did you just snap that dude's neck with that kick?
Oh
that was
man!
A side kick
Like
right
that.
to the chin.
Bam!
I think he's dead.
Oh, man.
I don't think that's the crumple of an unconscious man. I think that's the crumple of a dead man.
Dead. See, like, I'm so have mixed feelings about this because I guess I'm more emotionally attached to Bruce Lee.
Yep.
And so it's like I'll probably get the game just so I can play as Bruce Lee, but I will not watch any clip of him being beaten by another player. If anyone anyone that I think has a chance of beating me, I will not play Bruce Lee.
Well, shall we move on to the next trailer?
If we have to. Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at what the next one we got here. I know we're all excited about this one.
I'm so very excited for what kind of discussion this game is going to bring up. The Sims! The Sims and the 500 expansions that are coming out next year!
Can't say enough about how much I don't like The Sims.
Why do you hate The Sims?
I just don't care. It's just really all it is. I just
want to know why Barack Obama's in it.
I know. Like, how do you get away with that? Like, because even South Park has to do like a little disclaimer.
Is that Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, I thought so too. That's what I said. And I was like, how do you get away with making likenesses of people and then? But I think, like, people that play The Sims and stuff, I think it's really good. I mean, it's been a while since Sim 3 came out, and like I don't play it often. I haven't played it in a couple of years, but when I do play it, you kind of get drawn in, and it sucks the time away. Let's hope they did a little bit better with this one than they did with Sims Online, though, because something may or may not have happened with that game.
Well, it is EA.
To be fair, Sims Online was a long time ago, and they seem to have gotten their act together with. Well, they didn't seem to have any issues with Sims 2 or 3, but I swear to God, if they pull a SimCity Online with Sims 4, oh my God.
See, that's what I'm kind of worried about.
I don't want to meet other people's Sims, okay?
No.
I will drown them in the pool in my backyard if I have to meet other people's Sims.
What?
That's
okay.
I will log in and their Sim will be dead.
I know there's plenty of people out here that are listening right now. Who waited for someone to jump into the pool and then remove the little ladder so they couldn't get out.
Every time. Every time. You dumbass, you got in the pool, you're dead now.
I had a bad guy that would like invite over these people and be like, haha, yeah, why don't you go into my pool for a minute? Okay, that's cool. Remove. Or it makes me sound like I'm an evil person. Like built a room around them with no door.
Oh, you want to steal my TV, eh? Now all you can do is watch my TV.
Oh man. Well, I think that's enough Sims talk for me.
The hate for The Sims.
I'm surprised that we talked this long about The Sims.
It's reverse love, really. It's not hate, it's reverse love.
Like I said, the people are going to drop $60 for this game, and just next year they're going to have to buy the 6 Katy Perry expansion packs.
How is that a game?
Well, let's move on to our next trailer.
We couldn't switch fast enough. Mirror's Edge. I'm so excited for Mirror's Edge 2.
What are you talking about? This thing looks like crap.
What?
See,
See, this is because James doesn't like the outdoors.
No. Honestly, I am excited about this game.
I had no idea what this game was. When we were talking about it before the podcast, I was like, Mirror's Edge, what is that? But when I see the parkour stuff, I was like, oh, I remember this game.
It's the cool retro parkour game. With the cool graphics.
Anything with parkour in it is amazing, so I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really excited because it looks like they've really fine-tuned some of the slightly clunkier elements of the parkour from the first game, and we'll see it up here in a bit. We'll see that they really did a whole lot more to make the combat look and feel a lot more fluid.
So, Craig, can you I don't know anything about the first game, so what's kind of going on right now, in the universe? So
the big deal is that Faith is a runner, and basically that she delivers information via unconventional methods because it's a totalitarian society where all information is controlled. And so the idea is that, she's incredibly agile, she's incredibly fast, and when she does have to get into a fight, she strikes as fast as she can and keeps going. But, I mean, in the previous games, that didn't preclude you from, if you were being overwhelmed, from stopping, picking up one of their guns and clearing out the area. Or if someone was about to, strike you with the butt of their gun, disarming them and then shooting them with their own gun, and they keep running.
Yeah.
So the whole mantra of the game was, her, emphasizing her agility. And it looks like, especially in some of these fight scenes, they're really, really bringing that back into play.
See, what just showed up on screen, that's something I'm wondering, how does that, like how did the gameplay and stuff like that work? Like when that punch came in, she like hit them, and then the other punch came in, and she blocked it and put them in an arm bar. Like, are you controlling the reactions, or are you just like, is it a button mash and it does that?
In the original game, in the first game, it was just a primary attack combo button, and you just mashed it several times to do combos. And then when a counterattack come in, you had to time it just right to be able to do a counterattack. And depending on what your enemy's attack was, depended on the counter-attack animation that she would perform.
So, like, when did the first Mirror's Edge come out?
I think it was about 2009 or so, around the same time that Mass Effect 1 and Dead Space 1 dropped.
Oh, really?
It was the big deal because it was the first time, it was when EA, came out with this, we're going to give a whole bunch of new IPs a shot. And Mirror's Edge, Dead Space, and Mass Effect all came out, and only 2 of those turned into serial games, while Mirror's Edge disappeared for a while.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to try it out because, I mean, parkour and doing arm bars and punching people, that's my kind of thing. That's where I'm at.
I would strongly recommend to go pick up the first game on a sale. It's a short game, it's really fun, and it's just really exciting to play. And it's really, after beating it the first time, you or sometimes, every once in a while you die in a level and you go, I could get through that faster. Or I saw a better way that I could go this time. I want to try parkouring this way instead. I can parkour better.
Well, let's move on to our next trailer.
This is something that is huge right now, especially with League of Legends and Dota 2. I have yet to try out the game, but I've had a lot of friends and stuff that have tried out the game, and this is a huge market right now, a huge market, and some of these people are like, they got pro gamers to come in and test out the game and really see how they're going to play. One thing that's going to be interesting about this game that's different from the other ones, other than like how colorful and stuff like it is, and you kind of see EA's touch on it, and kind of the new kind of thing that's coming out with the real bright colors, like you see it in WildStar and stuff, like the bright, vibrant colors and stuff. This is something like in League of Legends, there's a lane, and you have champions that can only play certain lanes. Now, this, you can put in, like he just said, in any position. It can do whatever you want it to do. Now, I don't know if that's going to be something that beats the other games out there, or at least, or is it something that's going to turn people away?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting, especially since it's going to be entering the ecosystem at the same, probably around the same time as Blizzard's MOBA. And, and I've already heard some very fantastic things about Blizzard's MOBA as well. So it's never been a better time to be a mobile player because there's a lot of options, there's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's kind of becoming what the MMO market was just a few years ago, where it's getting a little. I'm worried that's going to get a little oversaturated.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing too, because it's everyone saw how much money Riot was making with League of Legends is what it is, and everybody wants a piece of the pie. But what happens is, just like the MMO market, when they're like, oh, look at WoW and look how much money they're making, let's try to do this. And all the failures have been out there. Now, some of them are good, but there's so many bad ones out there, and I'm afraid, like, you're trying to take away from a game, because they're not really saying it, but it's obvious that they're trying to take people from League of Legends. It's obvious. The thing is, though, people in League of Legends have already got into that game so much. There's a huge following on Twitch and all that. They're so...
Yeah, the League of Legends players are already so invested.
Yeah, so how are you going... And especially, another thing is, like, one thing I do like about MOBAs is, like, they're free to play. You spend your money on what you want to do. I know people that have spent thousands of dollars on different skins on League of Legends, and they're going to just say, all right, well, I'm done with that game. Let me move on to this other game. Now, while some people can do that with MMOs because there's content locus, but
I'd like to plead the fifth on how much money I've spent on SWTOR.
But like I just don't feel like they're going to be able to do anything with that.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and move on to our next trailer. I don't know. I don't know much about this game.
Yes.
But I believe this is the first we're really seeing of it.
Well, so EA made a little joke about this during their conference that we're now going to show you footage of a game that you've already been hearing about for the last 2 weeks already. Because they had a horrible leak on this. So this is basically Battlefield, but with cops and robbers. And that sounds really ridiculous. But
yeah.
I kind of like that it's that ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
well, sometimes those crazy concepts can bring the best games out of them.
Exactly. So I'm excited to see. I'm in the beta, but I haven't got the chance to play it because the Destiny alpha was this week. So
yeah, that kind of takes.
One of those things was a little more important than the others today.
Yeah.
Like, I've had people that got into the beta for it, and they're just. What I'm kind of getting from everybody is that it's not bad, but it's average. It's kind of what everyone's kind of getting to the point with shooters when they're like, okay, well, you're just kind of doing the same thing you did last time. It's just a newer version of it.
Yeah.
And I think they try to do something different with the cops and robbers thing, and we'll go on to it later. But I think Rainbow Six did it better.
Well, yeah.
So
I do laugh though, because it is definitely the epitome of let's give cops the most excessive force we possibly can. In this criminal justice system, this is represented by two groups: the police, who murder the hell out of the criminals, and no, I guess it's just the one group.
Oh man. Well, I think that about wraps it up for the EA conference. Do you guys want to go ahead and move on to the Ubisoft conference?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, there was quite a few things that I saw in the Ubisoft conference that I'm really excited to get into and talk about. There wasn't so much for me in the EA conference, but what did you all think about the Ubisoft conference overall, and kind of your general excitement about going into this?
Division needs to come out sooner than 2015.
Right?
that was my impression.
Yeah.
I think the Ubisoft kind of like it was just more upbeat to me, and I think they really did a really good job. And as far as like games and everything like that, I just think there were so many of them that I loved. Yeah. Where the other ones may have had some that I liked more. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like the Ubisoft one had just a constant stream of like, wow, I want to play this game. Wow, I want to play that game too. Wow, I want to play this game. Where it wasn't like, okay, well, this one's good, but okay, well, then it's gonna show up one game I'm not really that interested in. But like Ubisoft, it had every single one of them where we're like, I can't wait to get my hands on that.
Like the dancing game.
Yeah.
He totally wants to play Just Dance 3.
I'm sorry, but sometimes I play that game. I can't help it.
Yeah,
a crowd full of people, a little bit too much to drink, you're good to go. That's the best thing that can happen.
I will say, though, it is a bit of a punch in the gut to just think that after seeing all these trailers for games I want to play, and I have to launch all of them through Uplay.
It'll be all right. Well, should we get into the first trailer here?
Sure, why not?
All right. This first one's Far Cry 4. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited about this game.
I think this villain has a lot of potential to be just as interesting as Voss. Not better, but not better than Voss, because Voss is untouchable from Far Cry 3 in terms of the actor's performance. But the villain that they presented at the beginning of this trailer was he was great. He was fantastic.
Yeah, it's definitely I don't know. Even just the graphics of this game. I mean, it looks good, and it looks like a lot of fun to play, and like all the environmental stuff that you get to do, and there's a chimp there. Why is there a chimp there?
Something I think they did, especially.
Spoiler alert: the chimp dies.
Yeah. But something I think they did really good, especially with this trailer, it got you wanting to know more. It drew you in, and it was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Who are these people? Like it got you into, like, not only did it kind of drew the scene for you and got you into the settings and what time it is,
mm-hmm.
but just from what goes on here, it really got you in one going, oh, I've got to learn more about this game.
Yeah. No, it's definitely man, it just looks so good.
I'm excited to play in the Himalayas. I heard rumor on the cherry tree that you can climb Mount Everest.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
I say wingsuit off the top of Mount Everest, please. Yes, please. I would like the game where I can wingsuit off the top of Mount Everest.
So I've never played any of the Far Cry's before, and I'm kind of curious, Craig. I mean, you seem to have some experience with this franchise. How should I go back and play Far Cry 3, or should I just go in and play this one?
If you get the opportunity to pick up Far Cry 3 on a sale, I would absolutely say play it. It is fantastically fun,
Okay.
and it is every bit a satire on the generic first-person shooter. Your character is, like, as stereotypically bro-y as he possibly can be. The guy's name is Jason Brody. Bro is in his name.
Yeah.
As you level up, the tribal tattoo on your arm gets bigger. It is literally a commentary on so many things that is wrong with society, and it's so entertaining, and the visuals are gorgeous, and the gameplay is really fun, and the villain Voss is just, every time he's on screen, you're like, this is just, if there were Oscars for video games, you should get one, because it was the most compelling villain performance I've seen in a video game by far.
Nice. Yeah, this guy looks to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job on the crazy aspect of this guy.
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job at he likes I feel like he's like the perfect amount of psycho for Far Cry.
I was gonna say, JT, have you played Far Cry 3 at all?
I haven't played 3, but I've watched someone play through the whole thing. But I haven't played it myself.
Yeah, I would say, if you really want to get yourself interested in 3, James, go watch, at some point or another when you've got time, go look up the Far Cry 3 Definition of Insanity trailer.
Okay.
And it's just Voss the entire time going, did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
I'll have to go check it out.
It's fantastic. And the whole and he goes on about how it's, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And then it goes through this entire montage, this entire scene of you trying to escape from him. At the very end, you crash in a helicopter. And this is, and in the game, in the context of the game, this is like the second or third time you've tried to escape Voss.
Oh, wow.
And so you get into a helicopter, you try to escape the helicopter crashes, gets shot down. And then as you're like crawling out, you try to get to a gun, and Voss comes up and stops you and goes, did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? It's just like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like they're trying to definitely bring that perfect amount of crazy and interesting with this villain, especially right here when he takes out his phone to take a selfie.
Yes.
All over his face.
What a perfect time for a selfie.
And your character's like, what is going on? This is my WTF face.
Like, I want to know what the next scene is after this. Like,
right?
What's going on? Why? Why did all this just happen?
Phew, man.
That's a good question. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be just every bit as good as Far Cry 3, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be definitely nice to see that game finally. Well, let's get on into the next trailer here. Now this one, I am pretty excited for this one. I did not know. I wasn't really sure how excited I was going to be, but the more I see about this game, I don't know. There's just something about it that actually I want to try this game because, I mean, it's supposed to be completely open world. I mean, you're supposed to be able to drive from one end of the U.S. to the other with these missions and no load screens. I mean, just this right here. I mean, I'm just watching this and I don't know. I'm not big on racing games, but I want to play this game for some reason.
I mean, if I could drive across the U.S. in a Pagani at no cost to me, I would do it too.
Yeah, see, that's like I love racing games or driving games like this because it gives you the chance to drive these cars. And I watch a lot of Top Gear and stuff, so I really love seeing all these cars. And I was like, oh, it'd be awesome to play it. But this is one of those games. It was kind of like the No Man for me.
Oh yeah.
I'd play it for the point.
Yeah, like I'd play it for a little while, and then I'd be like, okay, that's nice. Done.
Well,
I'm hoping there's more to it than just being able to drive anywhere.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's actual missions you take on, and I saw a demo of one. I don't believe it's in this video here, but like you and your crew, which is you and whoever else is in your crew, actual other players in the game. You have to like stop this guy from getting this payload somewhere. So you're chasing his car down, like going off road and everything, trying to get to his payload. You're trying to get him off road and get him flipped over before he can deliver his payload. So there is interesting things like that. That's only one example I've seen, but they have like tons of missions that's supposed to be like that's the point of going from one end to the other is these missions that are taking you there.
But is it okay? So I have a question. Is it going to be like open? Like open where like okay, there's a mission here over in Los Angeles, or I have to do I have to go pick that mission up at that time, or can I go to Boston and go get that mission up there?
I believe, and I probably have no reference here to even say this, but I believe from what they've shown, I mean, you and your crew pretty much. I mean, there's going to be leaderboards, and so you'll want to be doing the most amount of jobs. You want to be completing them with the best score and stuff to get your crew up the leaderboards. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can take on whatever jobs you want. There's probably level caps and stuff for certain jobs, maybe that your crew might not be able to take on at certain skill levels. But that's just conjecture on my part, really. I'm not sure. So
I'll probably try it out, but I don't know if it's going to be like.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I look at it and I don't know why I want to play it, other than I look at it and go, oh, I want to play that game for some reason.
I definitely wouldn't mind checking it out.
Yeah, I mean, the graphics look nice too.
Year. And it comes out this year. I mean,
yes,
you can't ask for more than that. You can't ask for more than that. Too many games are getting pushed to 2015.
I know. It's it definitely would be nice to have. I mean, we've got some games coming out, and it'll be nice to actually play them and actually have something to play some of this next gen stuff. Well, let's jump on into our next trailer.
Speaking of games to play now, available until 2015.
This is another one I'm excited for.
I am extremely excited for this, but I do have only one concern, is that every time they've shown this, the multiplayer aspect is so scripted. Like, so obviously scripted.
Yeah.
And that kind
actually,
of...
let's not do this one. Let's do the next one. That is actually the the CG cinematic trailer that actually kind of delves into a little bit of the story, and actually kind of explains.
Nobody cares about the story except JG.
Well, it kind of explains like where this is, why this is happening. But
who cares about story in any game?
Wait a minute.
I'm teasing. This is the story trailer.
Yeah, no, this is wrong. I am so sorry. Oh man, this is actually
back to
where
the
we
shooting
be.
things. I came to see a shooting game.
I totally forgot that I revised the playlist before we got started. But anyways.
Like the
Yeah, I love the visuals. The city looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But I really liked in the storytelling part, because of course I love story. Like in all honesty, I kind of just like when this was on, I kind of just watched every bit and pieces of it, like, oh, that's cool. But when like the CG trailer on, I was like, did you see how awesome that was? When that guy was about to die and he just came and saved him. He was a good guy, and you're like, yeah, let's fight. And I was just perfect.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for the visuals.
Yeah. The only thing that, and they did the same thing last year with the gameplay, is it's completely 100% pre-scripted, pre-done out, and they got voice actors doing the kind of like what you and because that's another player would be in the game, the Megan and the other dude, but so it kind of doesn't give a real feel of actual like people going in and playing the game. Because it is so heavily scripted. I mean, I would love to see some free roam actual people who are not maybe developers get their hands on this game and play it in a cooperative way and kind of see an actual natural way of this game progressing.
I wouldn't mind if it was still the developers playing. I just wish they would play it like they're reading it off a script.
Exactly.
I would love to have seen what Sony did with the Little Big Planet demo.
Yeah.
But with Division. I mean, So what if they might have sucked a little? They may not have communicated as perfectly as they did, but it would have been nice to see that.
Yeah.
Because at the time, the guy who's playing right now, he's the guy controlling it on stage, and he doesn't speak a darn word the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I guess the only thing that you can get away from something like this is actually being able to control. Being able to more easily instruct people on what you're trying to convey with your game and how it's supposed to play. Because if you have people who don't know what they're doing, or people who are maybe not as good, it's probably harder to convey the meaning of your game in a video form.
See, and now honestly, I feel like you can get away with the people not... Like, you can get away with that with Little Big Planet, but this feels more serious.
Yeah.
Kind of got to stay with like what this is happening right now.
Well, I mean, I don't mean to say that they should be silly, but they should at least, when I play Battlefield, I sound serious, but at least, I don't sound I don't sound like I've got a page right here that's telling me exactly what to say when I'm playing Battlefield.
Yeah.
But
And really,
there's no sense of urgency from any of the voices.
But in a real play session, Megan would have died from that grenade blast.
Megan clearly has God mode hacks on.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
What I do love it, you don't see too much of it in this. Oh, well, there it is. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You see one guy who's controlling a little aerial drone on his tablet as a second screen.
And I want to know more about that and what that experience is actually like, because it could very easily be some really interesting gameplay mechanics coming into the game, and another way to actually interact with people. Maybe if you're in a remote location and you don't have access to your system, you can just pop into your tablet and help out.
It looks like Bronson doesn't have the same cheats as Megan does.
Yeah.
But I mean, from what I could tell from last time was that the guy who joined it on his tablet wasn't at home. And so that was his way of hopping in and playing with them.
Yeah.
Was to hop in on his aerial drone.
Now I wonder something. Like how? See, I want to see that work in more, like kind of see what's behind that in more detail.
Yeah.
With the
like
tablet.
actually
exactly.
See what the guy sees on his tablet screen when he's playing the game. Yeah, I would love to see that.
Because you can't have these. Like, to have the same graphics level and stuff like that on a tablet, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely not.
I would assume, just from me, I'm sure it's probably some kind of top-down view, and he's probably seeing the enemies on the map in terms of like maybe if they're just like red dots or something like that, and he's like choosing to attack these guys.
If he's seeing from like an RTS kind of view.
Yeah, and I would assume that's probably, maybe it's just like map, and then like just decals on the map pointing out where the players are and where the enemies are, and he can interact with those. That's probably the experience, but then again, we haven't seen it, so who knows? It could be a more immersive experience than that. But
well, hopefully we'll see more coming in 2015, because this is a game I'm so excited for.
Yeah.
And I think this is another game that I would love to get on with my friends and just go nuts in the city with. JT, you better get this for PC or I'm going to hurt you.
For PC?
Yes, it's coming out for PC. Do you see that little icon on the bottom right there?
I see it, but I didn't know I was being required to have it for PC.
JT, you have a GeForce 780 and you're not buying the Division. There's something wrong with you. And where am I wrong?
I had no rebuttal to that. So.
Oh man.
Where am I wrong?
All right, well let's jump on into Assassin's Creed. I'm really excited about this game.
Peggy 80.
So, initially I was not excited for this game.
Really?
Well, Assassin's Creed 3 was just Assassin's Creed 3 was rough for me. Black kind of brought me back in a little bit because freaking
you get to be Jack Sparrow. I mean, come on.
You get to be a less gay Jack Sparrow.
I haven't played any of the Assassin's Creed games, but I want to play so badly.
JT, we're gonna have homework for you for like the rest of your life. We're gonna come with a huge backlog for you, and you're gonna play them.
Look, all I need you to do is just buy the game for me and mail it to me, and then I'll play all of it.
I will literally give you my Uplay account so you can struggle with that to download the Assassin's Creed games.
My name is Alex Amancio, and I'm the creative director of Assassin's Creed Unity.
Like, and I love the.
Welcome to the streets of Paris, the most beautiful city in the world.
This is one of the trailers I like, but I really like the other trailer too.
The CG trailer.
Well, no, it's gameplay too.
Okay.
This shows more of the solo in it. And if actually we'll play, if it's okay, we can play like half of this and then play half like the other end of the other one, because in this game it kind of shows you how the world's more open and where you can go walk around, pick up a mission, pick up this mission.
I will say the biggest thing, and JT won't know this from not having played any of them, but the getting down from buildings, climbing up is extremely easy in all the Assassin's Creed games. Getting back down is the most infuriating thing ever in all of them. And so the way that they've, overhauled the getting down part makes me so excited for that. And the looks of how the combat system looks now also makes me very happy.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the co-op in this game.
Oh yeah, that looks like it's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because I know, I never really thought, about adding that to Assassin's Creed, but really, I mean, seeing that, I mean, I just know, I know I have friends that love to play Assassin's Creed, and it'd be great for everyone to join in and, play it together. It just, I just can see it adding that much more fun to the gameplay.
Our target is in a social club, one of the new types of locations in
Oh, that was a cool double takedown.
Let's use a direct approach. Combat is much more challenging in ACU, and players will have to make good use of their wit, tools, and new combat moves. Among these, you will see the parry, dodge, tackle, and heavy attack.
I just really loved he looks like he just looks so awesome when he fights and everything. It's just amazing.
As someone who actually has done fencing for 4 years, I'm extremely excited about that fighting style.
Let's switch to stealth mode and try a non-lethal approach.
Oh, there's an actual stealth, like an actual stealth mode.
Yeah.
In previous games, it was just lol, run around. Yeah, keep in mind, JT, if you ever go back and play them, the Assassin's Creed games are much less Assassin's Creed and more murderous Creed. In that it's so hard to actually be sneaky in those games. Like, you being an assassin is not a secret to anybody in those games.
Yeah. So, what's kind of the story? Do you know anything, Craig? Do you know anything about like the story with this game?
For this one in particular, I can't say that I do. I'm a little out of the loop on this one. In the previous few games, it's been there's the super corporation called Abstergo, and they're run by the Templars. The Templars are the antithesis to the Assassins. The Assassins want freedom, the Templars want order. And by order, they mean control.
Yeah.
So,
do you need to play any of the other games to be able to play this one?
It certainly helps, but no. Generally, especially the last few games, have done a pretty decent job of catching you up.
Okay. James, if you don't mind, can we go ahead and go to the co-op one? Because I think that's one going to be one of the biggest features of the game. And I like something that they talked about was how you can your reactions and how what the other players are doing is going to be what kind of can change how you do a mission.
Yeah.
But there's this is actually the gameplay from the trailer. Like there's a cinematic trailer of this.
Oh, okay.
But this is the actual gameplay of it. And okay, this is another thing. What color is his? Is that blue or is he wearing green? I know this sounds weird, but it looks like it's green.
It looks blue here.
Yeah, it looks blue.
Okay. Okay,
I think it's supposed to be blue.
Okay. At the beginning, it looked like it was green to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely looks like it's gonna be. It looks like it's supposed to be blue, but I can see how it's green under certain.
Maybe it's more of a teal.
I don't know. I was just wondering, because like in most Assassin's Creed games, you see white.
Yeah.
Hey, there's his buddy.
Yeah. See, and that was something they just talked about there. Like he could have been discovered right then.
Yeah.
But someone just came in and saved him right there.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the one other thing that I'm loving about this game so far is, especially since this Assassin's Creed is next gen only, the sheer number of people in the crowd.
Yes. I'm so glad that some of these games are starting to break away from catering to the previous generation. It's like, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next gen. PC's still ahead of you, but let's try to get a little closer.
In the previous Assassin's Creed games, there's literally a tenth of as many people in the cities.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. And it helps build that more immersive, especially since this is supposed to be in the French Revolution. I mean, there's going to have to be a lot of people to interact with, especially when you're in the streets during some of these times.
And I'm a huge history buff also, and I love just, like I don't. It's hard for me to believe that I haven't played it. I disappoint myself.
If you had to go back and start from 1, start from 2, skip 1.
Really? Well,
yes.
See, that's what kind of. I had someone play it, and they were talking about it's not so good. Like it feels very repetitive.
It can.
Number
1 feels extremely repetitive. It does. Mostly because you have to complete side missions before you're allowed to undertake the main assassin mission.
That's how you know you're dying when you're checking out the lady in the other room.
You have to complete side quests before you can even start the main assassin missions in Assassin's Creed 1. And those side missions can be incredibly repetitive after the very first... After you've seen the 3 main types of side missions, it's the same thing throughout the rest of the game.
How... I can even deal with that. How's the story? If the story's good enough in the first one, I can deal with that.
I will say the story is still pretty fantastic in the first one. So
yeah,
if
there's quite a bit going on.
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on. I would say if you still really want the story, I definitely play it for the story.
I mean, you've got betrayal and all kinds of stuff in the very first level. You've got all kinds of stuff going on that you're
yeah. Now, see,
how many assassins does it take to get 1 mark?
This is one of my favorite part.
Let's all attack him at the same time.
It really shows off, could you just imagine, other than that lady just getting hit with that brick in the face, and just being in that room and just 4 people jump down.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. See,
I do love the brutality of some of the takedowns now. They're not as oh shit. Oh wow. The enemies have some better interactions with the player too.
Yeah, I think it's.
I love the fencing. Oh, he's using a epee.
Yep.
He's using a rapier. I love how his style changes depending on the weapon he's holding.
Yes,
it's fantastic.
He does. Yes. That was one thing I was gonna mention, because in the other trailer we watched, he was using a different type.
Yeah, he was using a saber. Now he's using a rapier.
And that kind of leads us into where the CG trailer kind of was.
Yeah.
That didn't take long.
Yeah.
Aww. Poor guy.
Looks brutal and epic at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially this. What a time.
I think, I think I'm about to pick up this first Assassin's Creed and play it.
Yeah, I don't think you'll regret it. I mean,
Black Flag looked good to me, but I'm not really into pirates and everything like that.
Honestly, I wasn't either, but the gameplay itself is what made it. Yeah. And honestly, the character you play as is extremely interesting because he's the only assassin out of all of them that is he's a reluctant assassin. He's not even an assassin because he wants to be or because he was born to be. He was an assassin because he got into a fight with an assassin. The assassin was going to kill him, and this assassin, by the way, was switching sides to the Templars. And he decides to kill he decides into self-defense to kill the assassin, and then the assassin mentions before he dies that he's actually on a mission, on a job. So he decides, well, to hell with it, I need money. I'm a pirate, I need money. So he takes the guy's assassin's robes and goes to complete the guy's job for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, okay. This is another thing. I'm a huge Templar fan, so that's another reason I haven't really wanted to play these. But I mean, my character's names on all the games I play is Brastifer, for crying out loud. So this is French Revolution. Like it's made like I've got to do it now. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
I will literally add you as a guest account to my Steam account just so you can play 2 and 3.
All right, well let's head on into the next trailer. We got probably one of the more exciting. I mean, Ubisoft had quite a few exciting trailers, but this really, I don't know. I don't even know really how to really process this one. I mean, there's so much going on here.
What is blowing my mind is what just popped on the screen just a second ago.
Yeah.
3 alpha footage. Because I thought this game was like, okay, it's ready to go now.
Yeah.
What made me like 1,000 times more excited for this game is I used to play the old school Rainbow Sixes like as a kid, and they've always been traditionally very methodical, very tactical shooters.
And one thing that
this looks like it's bringing a lot of that back.
Yeah, and I don't even know. I didn't even really know what I was seeing when I first saw this trailer. But I mean, this is 2 different teams. This is 2 different player-controlled teams. You got one that's trying to barricade, and the other team that's trying to get in. And it's just, this just looks like it's going to be so much fun to actually go in and I don't know if you choose who's going to defend and who's going to attack, but I mean. And you got to plan, and you got to decide how you're going to go in and stuff like that. It's just
that's something I liked. I always get tired of with Call of Duty and Battlefield. It's like you're just running around shooting everything you can see.
Yeah.
Where this is what excites me, and this is what I think Rainbow Six did better than Battlefield Hardline. Is that it's more tactical, like it's supposed to be when it's cops and robbers.
Yeah.
Oh no, by far Battlefield Hardline was literally just. Let's see how many things we can blow up. This is very much so. No, and the roots of Rainbow Six has always been counterterrorism on a tactical level, and and that's what makes the game so incredibly fun.
See, this is what the thing with me that with this, you have to be so much more careful, and you can't just run around okay, I may die, but I'm gonna shoot 3 people as fast as I possibly can, and then it's okay that I died. But this is I can't just go in there all alone by myself and start shooting everything because I'm just going to die, give away my position, and now the other team has an advantage.
Yeah. And the shooting through walls and everything and the destruction of the the interior is it just adds because it's not here's a wall here, I'm just going to use it for cover. No, that wall can be blown away and someone could shoot you through that wall.
I loved this right here.
Yeah.
When he was like, all right, I'm going to get behind you.
Yeah.
That makes you can't just have all right, everyone get assault weapons, we're just gonna go in there shoot. No, every person every role can change it in one way or the other. Because imagine if they didn't have the guy there with the riot shield.
Yeah.
They would have been dead because they couldn't have been able to find enough cover and everything like that. So it makes it to where each person is vital to the team, and if you may have one person that can change the game for you.
Wow, this guy's literally leading around his partner.
Yeah.
Except getting shot through the drywall.
Now, one thing I never understood in the trailer is why they were calling out this one guy like he was important. Because, I mean, he's just somebody else on the other team, but maybe
No, I think these are the people they got here are pro. Because the name they keep saying, I've heard it before. I'm not 100% positive, but I've heard that person's name before.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I think they're programmers.
But
I can't remember off the top of my head.
that would make more sense. That's something I could never understand.
Because another guy on this team, I know I watched him play something before, but I don't remember. I don't know if he just has the same tag as him, or if it's the same person I've watched before. It's been a while since I watched, but
what's the name they keep calling? I missed it.
I can't remember. If I see it, I can point it out.
But one of the guys that went down when they started shooting through the walls, I've seen him play before, but I don't remember what. So I'm almost positive that the people on that guy they keep calling out is a pro gamer that's really good.
Fatality?
Maybe.
Now, and this is interesting here. I mean, because he gets to take the little robot here and go into the room and kind of scope out and see what's going on. And if they don't notice it, then he can actually see what their position is, and then this changes the outcome of how they decide to go about this situation here.
Yeah, something that I love, and I love the communication that everyone's given, and you have to work as a team. You can't have that one person just go all right, I'm gonna do all of this, y'all just sit back. No, because that person's just gonna die. But the one thing I hate about this trailer is at the very end, and we'll see it later. See, and I don't that shows how big these maps are, because I thought it was just a house at first.
Yeah.
But he went over to the next house where the sniper was and got her.
Takes that guy out. 3v2. So the only person left is this other player that left the house earlier at this point.
Oh man, I would hate being the guy who has to escort the hostage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because he only gets a pistol at this point, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't use can't shoot accurately with an assault rifle. Not to mention, have you shot an assault rifle next to somebody's ear? That shit's loud.
There he is.
Yeah. Havoc.
Oh, okay.
That's his name. But see, he
just keeps taking out all his guys.
And you obviously will lose a mission if the hostage dies.
Yeah.
So it's just, right here. This is it. I'm no.
Yeah.
That was pretty legit that it came through and basically cleared them out, though.
Yeah.
That's those games. I love the tactical factor, and I'm so excited to see this coming back for the Rainbow Six games, because Rainbow Six Vegas was fun. There was a nice departure. There are a lot less serious games, but I miss the old school Rainbow Six, and it's so good to see it back.
Yes, definitely. All right, well, that kind of wraps up the Ubisoft conference. Is there anything else that you guys would think we need to touch on that we may have missed?
I would really love to go over just real briefly the Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer.
All right, yeah.
That to me just looks so fantastic, and I'm such a huge fan of the Metal Gear universe. I cannot wait for this game.
All right, let's check it out.
And my favorite part was that this whole trailer was directed by Konami, or by Hideo Kojima, and you can tell he's just given his own personal love and affection to it.
Yeah.
I think something I've always really liked about the Metal Gear Solid games, even though I haven't played the last two, like the ones before it, but just from looking at them, they always look amazing. Just from a graphic standpoint, they look amazing.
They've always been kind of like how Uncharted is for. And I love the soundtrack. I love the song.
Yeah.
Much like how Uncharted is the real pusher for Sony to push the edge of their consoles. Konami Studios does the same thing with Metal Gear. Every time they come out with a new one, they go as far as they can push the system.
Yeah, one thing that's surprising about this game, I mean, we still don't have a hard release date on this. And last time, I believe, Kojima was in an interview, he pretty much said, when it's ready. So it's like, basically. Whoa, the game looks this good, and they're still not comfortable enough to talk about a release date? Wow.
Yeah.
I just
something they said it wasn't coming out in 2014 by any shred of an idea.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, is the question is, are we going to see this in 2015? I mean, because, I think it's crazy we'd see so much of this game and it not be a 2015 release at least, you know.
I think it will be. I certainly hope it will be.
Yeah, I mean...
Ground Zeroes did come out this year, and having played Ground Zeroes myself, I can say it really does look and play this good. And on top of that, does it at 60 frames per second most of the time.
Mm.
It plays like a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I feel like it's definitely gonna come out in 2015. I think they're just kind of waiting to see when in 2015 they feel like they're comfortable enough with it coming out.
Yeah.
Konami is not, or Hideo Kojima has never been one to like saying it's coming out this time and then delay it.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling he really just doesn't want to say anything until he knows for sure.
Well, I'm sure he wants this to be the best it can be and doesn't want to be pressured by a release date that he may not be able to meet and affect the game poorly.
Especially since he insists that every Metal Gear game is his last.
Yeah.
But just all the mocap, the graphics look just so fantastic.
Yeah, I don't believe any of this is pre-rendered CG. I believe all of this is in game, right?
All of it is an engine.
Oh, it's crazy.
And having played Ground Zeroes, I can attest to that being true.
This looks so amazing.
The rain graphics alone are some of the best in this game.
Yeah. Huh. But we're kind of getting close to time here, so one I kind of want to touch on real quick is Grand Theft Auto. The next Grand Theft Auto come on.
All right, let's pull that up real quick.
Bye, Metal Gear. Bye-bye. I cannot even begin to say how excited I am to play this on PC. Something to give my graphics cards a challenge.
Right?
And I think I've always Grand Theft Autos for me have always been something that it's got the characters in it. I feel like they make so many dynamic characters that you can really get attached to, or maybe not attached to, but kind of really feel like, I love that character. He's crazy, but I love him.
Absolutely. Yeah, the GTA 5 just upped the ante on it. All three of the characters are so enjoyable to play as and listen to, and the story was just fantastic.
So that's something that I really like about the GTA games, and I think and I don't think people always give them credit for that, because they're kind of like, oh, it's GTA, but they make so many good characters, and I really love that about it.
Yeah, and these, and from what I've seen of this game, I mean, the city is just huge, and there's so much that you can do. I mean, just even in the online, and it's crazy. And it's cool that they're allowing the saves to or the online progress to move over to the next gen system. Which
I'm so excited about that because I really didn't want to start over.
Right. Well,
2014 release too. So
yes. Yep,
I'm excited about that.
Well, that pretty much wraps up all of our trailers that we had. Do you guys want to let's get into some of our final talking points here as we're closing out the podcast. One of the things that I wanted to ask you guys is we kind of break this down into threes here, but what is, we saw a lot of games at E3, some that are coming out this year, some that are coming out next year, and some we don't even know when they're coming out. But what is the best games that you can think of that you saw graphics-wise, gameplay-wise, and just overall maybe your general, your excitement for the game? What kind of took it for you? What are your three choices in those categories?
Okay, well, I guess I'll start that off with gameplay-wise, Dragon Age Inquisition for me is by far. Witcher 3 came a very close second to that, but I'm such a huge fan of Dragon Age, and the way they've evolved the game from Origins to Dragon Age 2 to this one, it that just leaps out at me as it looks like it's going to be amazing. So that's my standout for me there. Graphics, I'm gonna have to give that one to let's see, we watched one of those today. What was it? I had my idea on this. Battlefront.
Okay.
Just visually looks like anything and everything I could ever possibly have hoped for from a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
But because that's all we've seen, I can't possibly rate it as anything other than graphics. But the attention to detail that they are giving right now looks phenomenal, and I'm so excited to see that. And then for best overall, I'm going to have to give it to Witcher 3. They've had some of the most compelling graphics that I've seen from all the trailers that came out this year. The gameplay looks absolutely exciting. The trailers just do so well to hype you up for this awesome fantasy world. And I can't wait enough for that game to come out in February.
Awesome. JT, do you have yours?
Okay, as far as gameplay, so many, and I don't. I'm going to go.
Right? It's so hard to pick.
I know. I'm going to go with Rainbow Six because I've missed the tactical shooters like that so badly. Like I remember when I was younger playing Soulcom 2, and you had the hostage situations.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't, and so just bringing it back to that tactical, and just the game looks great already before it is still pre-alpha. So I feel like when the graphics can enhance even more, it'll help the gameplay out even more. So gameplay, gonna go with that.
That's assuming that the graphics don't have a Watch Dogs effect.
Not true. I'm gonna give hope though. The next for graphics, going to go with Metal Gear Solid. I couldn't it just looks so amazing, and just how it's all rendered with the in-game engine is just and I feel like it gives such detail to what's going on. The graphics really in that game helps tell the story, and I'm such a story person, and I feel like the graphics in the game help tell the story.
Yeah.
And just it's just so detailed, and you can it draws you in. For overall, this is the worst one.
We know it's not going to be Ori.
I was gonna say it might have been Ori.
It's no, because I was kind of thinking, oh gosh, I'm going to go with Uncharted 4.
Yes.
I feel like that one's going to be the overall success.
Yeah.
That one's going to be the best one.
Yeah. Man, it's so let me go ahead and do mine. The probably on gameplay. Well, it's so hard because some of those. I mean, gameplay. Okay, I'm excited for the gameplay in The Division. I mean, I'm really excited about the cooperative experience on that, and this post-apocalyptic New York City, with this virus and stuff going on. I'm really excited to see that play out. So I'm probably most excited for gameplay on that one. Graphics, I really like The Witcher's graphics. I really do. It looks beautiful. And there's so many games. I mean, like you mentioned Metal Gear Solid, that there's so many that are right there at the top. But yeah, I'm really excited about The Witcher 3. And then overall, it is a hard one. It's kind of a vague category because there's so many things that can fall under that one.
See, that's the thing. Oh my gosh, that's one thing about this E3. I feel like there's no, last E3, okay, that was my favorite, hands down. But this E3, I feel like they're all right there.
Yeah. The gap between my favorites is about
right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll have to go Uncharted 4 on mine because I am probably most hyped for that game because I love that series to death, that and the Tomb Raider series. But I'm really excited to get back into and play Nathan Drake's story. Though that probably won't be till Oh, man, probably late 2015 or early 2016. Maybe, oh gosh. I don't even want to think about how far off that game probably is.
Given Naughty Dog's penchants for release dates, it'll most likely, because both Uncharted 2 and 3 came out over the holiday season, so
yeah,
that's probably when we can. And I guess that's the only reason I didn't include that in mine, was because, all we got was the sneak peek, and yes, it did look gorgeous, and yes, I'm so excited for it. I really want to wait and see what they're bringing new to the table before I, commit to it being the best of something.
And honestly, I don't feel like they really need to, they've already proven themselves.
Don't get me wrong. If they did exactly the same thing they've done before, I would be so okay with it. I would play the hell out of that game.
Yeah.
But I know Naughty Dog, and I know they're going to do something new and something special with the gameplay, and I'm just really excited to see what that is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've given our kind of like our overall kind of the games that most stood out to us. Next, is there anything that you guys thought was missing from E3? Maybe something you were excited to hear about, but the announcement just didn't come, and you were waiting all the way up to the end and like, oh, but that one announcement, I wanted to hear about this game. What was that game for you guys?
Battlefront 3 gameplay.
EverQuest Next. I wanted to know
That's
more.
Good one. I actually didn't even think about that.
Yeah, me and JT were talking about that one before the podcast started, and it's almost kind of curious why we wouldn't see that game at E3, because they've done so much with Landmark, and
maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Developers are having too much fun in Landmark right now. They're not making EverQuest Next.
But then again, they showed off. They originally announced it at their own kind of conference, way after E3. So we may see another thing like that again this year, where they kind of save the announcement for that. But yeah, where is that game?
Yeah. See, that's something that I'll get into further detail when we talk about E3 more. But it's kind of, the announcement for it has already hit, so I kind of think that's why they weren't they didn't say anything about it. But that game looks amazing. It's EverQuest. How long has it been since we got an EverQuest game? I think that would have been just come out and just show off some more, because the last time when we got the announcement, it was just running around.
Yeah.
And a little bit of fight scene, but I was I want to see more in depth, more stuff. Let me see some of the cities that players can build, all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for what games were missing from E3, I'm gonna go for the low-hanging fruit here. KOTOR 4 wasn't there. I'm not finished. And where the hell is Half-Life 3?
Half-Life 3 confirmed!
Half-Life 3 confirmed. E3, Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Man.
And I know that's a big hype thing. That's everyone keeps waiting for Valve to just surprise us one year and show up.
Yeah.
But seriously, where's Half-Life 3? It's been a decade almost.
What about that Last Guardian, man?
You know what? You know what though? With the amount of times Last Guardian has been delayed, I'm almost not surprised it wasn't at E3.
But it's not canceled. That's the thing. It's not canceled.
It's not canceled.
They have confirmed even again up to last week that it's not canceled. What the frick is going on with that game?
Let me put it this way. If we got any concrete information about The Last Guardian, I would have expected another announcement for the next Duke Nukem game.
Oh, man.
That's how much faith I have in The Last Guardian.
Oh, man.
And as someone who loves JRPGs, it's incredibly painful.
Yeah. And we know literally nothing about that game other than the trailer that was shown, but it's just, there's so much hype about it because no one knows what's going on.
Especially because it's going to be the follow-up to Team Ico's Shadow of the Colossus 2.
Yeah.
I want that game.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I'm gonna stick with my low-hanging fruit and say, where the hell is Half-Life 3?
Oh, man. Well, what about, what was your... because we've seen all the conferences and E3 is over now. Who had the best conference? This is the question. Who had the best conference?
I'm going to say, obviously, CD Projekt Red's conference right before E3 even started on Witcher 3. I'm just kidding. Honestly, if I had to pick, I would say Sony, if only because Sony came out and if I didn't already own a PlayStation 4, they really drilled the point home of why I should own one.
Yeah.
And while Microsoft definitely came out and showed a very strong appearance especially compared to last year, and definitely gave me several compelling reasons to go buy an Xbox, I didn't walk away from that conference with the same, marketing thing stuck in my head of, well, if you buy it on PlayStation, this is why it's the best place to play it.
Yeah.
And so I really think that Sony really took it away with that. And I mean, how do you top an Uncharted 4 reveal?
I know,
you just
right?
Don't. You just don't. And I even love Dragon Age.
With a Battlefront trailer. No.
Yeah, the Battlefront trailer comes so close.
Yeah.
And EA did have a fantastic. I think my only complaint about the EA conference is so many of the games that I wanted to know about, the only information they had was behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And not, this game is almost complete. Look, we're going to show you tidbits of gameplay. We have real trailers.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the big anticipatory games, Mass Effect, Mirror's Edge, and Battlefront were all just behind the scenes stuff. And while we saw a little bit more Mirror's Edge than the other ones, it was just it wasn't enough for me to say EA had the best, because it just wasn't enough to whet my appetite for what's coming. It was enough to get me excited, but not enough for me to already have my checkbook out and get ready to buy the next drops out, next week. So Sony takes it for me.
For me, okay, this was hard, but at the same time, when I went down to the basic level of it,
and you can't say Ori.
Ori
was not a conference.
Ori.
The Ori conference inside the Microsoft conference.
Yeah. So they did there were so many big things that came out, but Ubisoft is going to be my favorite conference. The reason being, I love the host. I love Aisha Tyler, and she keeps it upbeat and going the whole time.
She does a really good job.
Another thing, there were parts of all the other conferences where I kind of just zoned out because they were going over something I really didn't care that much about. But with the Ubisoft, everything that came up, I was like, what are they doing there? Okay, let me see that. Even just the dance and the workout video thing.
Oh, gosh.
They made it. Okay, yes, most people.
We just
But
started
they made,
ISG fun to get JT a connection.
Yeah. They made it fun, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Can we have an
They made
ISG podcast where we do
Yeah.
a let's play with JT playing Let's Dance 3?
Yes, but see, they the whole time. The entire conference was fun and it was engaging and it kept you drew into to what's going on. And I think that's what made it the best conference to me.
All right, yeah, I can definitely see that. This is hard for me. I mean, I guess this is really an easy one, but I'll probably have to say Sony as well, just because. Yes, I mean the things that I was excited. I saw in the Microsoft conference was Master Chief Collection. That's interesting, but I've played those games. Those experiences are not going to be new to me, other than Halo 2 being remastered. That's going to be awesome.
And Ori.
Yeah, and Ori.
Ori. I love how JT's so excited for a game he doesn't even own the console for.
I know. I'm gonna have to buy the console for a $10 game.
Look at the best $410 you ever spent.
But I mean, yes, Uncharted and the Order 1886. There's just so many games coming out of Sony right now that I'm so excited for. And you got No Man's Sky, and they had a great presentation in a conference. The only thing was they had that lull towards the middle where they started talking about hardware. I was excited about the hardware, but I know since all Microsoft did was talk about games, that I knew the hardware was going to pull people back. I mean, I'm personally excited for stuff like PlayStation TV, and PlayStation Now. I want to see how that works. Other than Sony has an uphill battle ahead of them with PlayStation Now, because look at the trouble Netflix is having with their service and having to pay content providers, service providers and stuff for better access to the internet. I don't know. Maybe this will force a change in the internet in a good way, but I just can see Sony's got an uphill battle just with just internet speeds alone and getting a good service to people. Because if you're streaming games, you've got to have low latency and you got to have good quality, or the experience is just going to suck. but then again, I've not even seen what they have yet. So, and so, yeah, overall between hardware and software, Sony's conference is took it for me.
So if I can add something to that, if only because I had something to say. Aisha Tyler was way more awkward last year than she was this year, so I'm guessing they took notes on that, and she was way more entertaining this year than she was last year.
I mean, y'all are both welcome to your opinions, even though they're wrong. Y'all are both welcome to them.
However, I am, a tester for PlayStation Now right now on my PS3 and my PS4.
Oh, really?
And the game selection right now is kind of sparse just because it's just whatever they're testing at the moment. And they kind of just recycle through their catalog. And the nice side is I can play some of these games. They're all free because it's in beta. So
Nice.
I've got all these games up here I'm absolutely not interested in playing at all, but they're all free.
Yeah.
But I will say I was actually very surprised. I picked up one of them. I think it was one of the racing games. It was like dirt bike racing or motorsport racing or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I was very surprised. I mean, granted, I have fairly fast internet, but I was very surprised the lack of load time, the lack of buffering even. Like, you start up a Netflix video and boom, like, right when it starts, it's really low quality, and then suddenly it buffers and it's in HD. I didn't get that with the games that I was playing on PlayStation Now.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting where they go with this. I think there's a big chance for it to be picked up and stuff, but I'm excited for it, but it wasn't a big thing for me. That's the only thing.
You have no soul.
That is evident.
All right. Well, kind of the last topic to go over here is what is your overall impressions of E3 this year, and kind of like also like looking at E3 in the future. I mean, there's so many things going on now with so many different. You got PAX, you got Gamescom, and all these different things, and even take a look at TGS over in Japan. I mean, that used to be such a big thing for game reveals, and even that has toned down, and even it seems like they show more mobile games there than they do actual like big, like even like RPG experience that you expect coming out of Japan. How do you? Maybe we can kind of like talk about like where we see E3 going, or is it fine? Should they change, and stuff like that. JT, would you like to go with that? I think you have some opinions on that.
Yeah. So, all right. Like in the past, I felt like I know EA's have a history. In the past, EA's had a history with like being for the gamer, then switching to the press and stuff like that. This E3, I feel like it's not as much for gamers anymore, and I'm afraid that's going to like continue like that. And while I see, yes, you got to have your press announcements and stuff like that, and that's great. But I just don't feel the same gamer and player-driven stuff coming out, and that's what I'm really interested for. And I hope in the future they just seem like it's more gamer-friendly than what it is now.
Well, I would maybe challenge you on that a little bit because I don't know. I kind of think that E3 kind of has like they're there to talk to the press, and of course they are a little bit more customer facing now because the consumer has more access to see the show, but really they're there to talk to the press and to help get their messaging out that way. But as I said, like it has kind of changed in a little bit to where the consumer actually gets to window in and see what's going on. But maybe it's all right because I mean we have so many other things, but I can see where a lot of the big reveals happen there, but I don't know.
But see, that's my thing. With the players with the people having so much more access to see into it, why are you still talking like you're talking to the press? It's not. It shouldn't be about the press, but that doesn't matter. We can be brought into there now thanks to how much we can see now through Twitch and everything else. Focus on the gamers, not on the press.
So I have two counterpoints here, mostly because I have been watching E3 for far longer than I can possibly remember. Because E3 has traditionally always been about the press. The people who go are only people in the press who get badges to go. And granted, yes, we have access to see it, but that isn't something that's changed. We've always had access to see what gets announced at E3. And we have a lot more widespread video coverage now than we used to. But
yeah, that's really what I was getting at.
Even still, though, there was still video coverage available back then.
Mm-hmm.
And E3 has already changed once, where they cut out all the extra fluff, they cut out all the pomp and circumstance, they cut out the booth babes, and it became just a developer and press only show, and there was no broadcasting allowed there at all. And it was the only E3 in which we only found out about things after E3 was already over.
Yeah.
And everyone who went that year unanimously said that sucked.
Yeah.
And so they've slowly brought back, the pomp and circumstance, the big announcements. And honestly, it is geared a little bit more towards the press releases. But when you really think about it, they've gone down this other road before where it was solely only for the press. And they finally decided that was a terrible idea.
Oh, I completely agree. It's been way worse than this. I remember when it was like that. It was horrible. But I
do agree there is still that big press focus. I will say, as far as some of the reveals we've been getting lately, there's never been a better time to be a gamer and seeing what people have to say about what they're bringing us at E3.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but then I can see where it could be better though, and that's what I think. It's so hard because I understand where we need it has to be geared towards the press too. It's obviously got to be, but now E3, I feel like E3 you're having to compete with more stuff like PAX,
mm-hmm. which
is such heavily gamer focused that E3 needs to do something to kind of show that they're doing all this for us, for people watching, for us here, that they're doing it like this is because they want everyone to know about their game. They're doing this and this and this. It's all about you kind of thing. Because at the end, the press is nice, but there's a reason we're running out while newspaper companies are running out.
So my question would be then, what would you recommend that they do to change their format? How would you as a gamer like them to appeal to you better for you?
In other words, what parts of E3 did you not give a crap about?
I wanted to see more fan, people who are looking forward to the game and stuff like that, them going out and watching people play their game that they've been waiting for to come out and stuff like that. That's what really gets me going.
Well, that's what happens on the show floor, but we don't see that anymore because G4 TV is gone.
Exactly. So I feel like E3 needs to do something about that. That they need to do something and kind of show off that we're still like that. And that's something that, and I know it's because G4 is gone, and I mentioned that in the last podcast, how it made me really miss G4, but since that's not there anymore, I think E3 needs to do something to keep the momentum going then.
Maybe Spike TV should pick something up. I like Jeff Keighley. I do like Jeff Keighley. Yeah. And he's a hell of a lot more easier to bear than Greg Miller at IGN.
Oh, come on, man.
If Greg Miller's one of our viewers, I apologize, but dude, he gets a little overexcited.
But that's Greg's thing, though.
It is his thing. I will say he does his video interviews. That I think it's up at noon.
Oh yeah, up at noon.
Yeah. I will say he does do some excellent interviews. In that, when he brings a guest on, mm-hmm. It is all about his guests.
Yeah. So
he is a great interviewer, but he does get excessively excited to the point. It's all right, dude, I get it.
Oh man. Well, I guess I can take it here for a second, but I don't know. I mean, I honestly felt that, of course, comparing, in the last podcast, I kind of compared, the Sony versus Microsoft, so I won't really do that here, but, there is, that was kind of the biggest, there was the mic drop events last year. We don't have that this year. Although, of course, that's not really necessary for E3, for it to be a good E3, I don't feel. It just kind of helps. But, I can say that there was enough that came out of E3 that got me excited. I got to see some reveals on some games I didn't know about. Got some confirmations on some rumors, things like that. Of course, there's games that I still want to know about, like Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15. Those games I'm excited for. We'll probably not hear about later, probably maybe to TGS, maybe even Gamescom. So overall, I had a good experience with E3. The only complaint is, like I said, maybe they could have showed me more games that I was excited about. But even like Sony has tons of first-party studios that are working on games right now, but nobody knows what they're working on, and that right there begs a lot of questions. Like, okay, where are some of these games at? Because like the PlayStation 4 has been kind of dry. Even the Xbox One has been kind of dry on game releases. But then you got these first-party studios who are quiet, and it's like, okay, where are these games that you're working on? We don't even know what the titles are. So other than maybe some of those questions not being answered, probably were my complaints. And honestly, personally, I'm fine with the format of E3. And I think that some of these other places like PAX do a good job of maybe picking up where some of the things E3 doesn't do so well on, but I think they all work together to complement each other, and I don't think one place has to do it all, especially when you have one conference that's one thing that's focused in a certain area. As long as they focus on that and do it well, and there's other people to pick up the slack in other areas, I think it works out fine for the gamer.
On that note, I'm just going to add, I'm really shocked that I completely forgot about Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15
yes.
when we asked what was missing from E3 earlier. The entire time JT's been talking, there's that giant stupid poster next to it. I completely forgot about Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
See, like, I guess the reason I didn't mention that earlier is because I already knew that they weren't going to say anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that coming up.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't even add it. But, like, EverQuest Next, I thought they would say something at least.
Yeah.
Still making it.
It's in development.
And I think that, see, like, I know, see, this is one thing that, like, my complaint about E3 is it's because it's not one of those blockbuster things that they're announcing right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really going to give it any time.
Yeah.
Where I feel like at PAX, because it's so gamer focused and people are looking to know more about it, it's going to be covered at PAX by somebody. Mm-hmm. They're going to go into it and get it, and you're going to see it. But with E3, they're all about this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out. Where games like we've already like heard about, but want to know more about, or that we like, they're not going to show because it's not a big announcement.
Yeah. Well,
because it's not a press release. Because it's not a press release, so I thought.
Yeah. There's also that I've remembered is that traditionally, at most of the time at E3, they don't even generally let people use their camera footage on the floor. Like I remember one.
That.
I remember one year. I can't remember which game it was. It was a Square game. It was probably one of the Kingdom Hearts. I can't remember. But there was one year where someone was actually trying to video someone actually getting to play it on screen, and literally someone like walked over and blocked the camera.
Well, wow. See, they did that too on because it was on Final Fantasy Tactics when they were making it for the PSP.
Yeah.
Because I was watching it when it was announced, and dude had a camera and he had it like right here, like he was messaging on it, had it right here like this, watching another guy play the game.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, there's a guy that walks in front of him, and the video ends.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
well,
like, I feel like that's not good.
But it's.
Change it.
I think it's fine.
It's for the industry, though. It's not for us.
Yeah, exactly.
No, oh, you're right. We don't play the games. The industry does.
No. I just there's a place for it all. I believe.
Yeah, it's called PAX. It's getting more popular.
I will say, however, I did find the hilarious irony in that, Microsoft said absolutely nothing about their Kinect peripheral, whereas Sony is launching like 2 or 3 other hardware peripherals.
Yeah.
No.
Between the PlayStation TV, the PlayStation Now integration on Sony Bravia TVs, and the Morpheus headset. We're getting 3 sets of hardware peripherals from Sony within the next year, and Microsoft is, well, we're taking away the command.
Yeah. So, well, I think that about wraps up all of our discussion topics for this podcast. It's been a good podcast, guys.
And we didn't even have to do it twice.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about. Some audio issues, maybe? No? I don't. Nah.
Technical difficulties? What are those?
I mean, having a cat open your door.
Yeah, right?
That doesn't happen.
Kill the cats.
Wait. We're on the internet. You can't say that.
I was going to say, I just rewatched the Constantine movie the other day, and Keanu Reeves uses a cat as a gateway to hell, and I was like, oh, wait. It's so appropriate.
Oh, man. Well, on that note, killing cats, we should probably just end it. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. This has been the Immortal Sanctum Gaming Podcast. We come to you, try to go every week, and now we're coming in video form as well. So definitely thanks for checking us out. I mean, you can also see our links to the website and everything at the bottom of the screen here, the Twitter and Facebook and all that. But JT, would you like to tell people more about us and who we are?
So at the Immortal Sanctum Gaming community,
spit it out.
we're playing a lot of yeah, I know. A lot of range of games. A lot of our community people right now are playing WildStar. We're on the oh my gosh, I was going blank on it. What server are we on? Warbringer. I knew it was War server, but I didn't want to say the wrong thing. We're on the Warbringer server. Feel free to check us out. We've got our website on there, immortal-sanctum.net.
Yes.
Well, I can't. The dash gets me every time. But,
it's on the bottom of the screen anyway, so.
Yeah, so feel free to check us out. Come and play with us. We play a bunch of different games. We got a huge TeamSpeak server. We'd love to come and check us out. Feel free to comment below on this podcast and see what maybe something that you want us to discuss, something you want us to talk about, something that we didn't touch on that maybe want to be added later, just stuff we can do to make the podcast better for y'all. So.
Most definitely. All right.
The podcast could only be better if JT starts playing more games.
We'll be starting some Let's Plays coming in the future, so be looking forward to those.
Yes. All right. Well, I think that's everything.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Adios.